Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Smith's Craft Creations. So today's video is especially for all those lovely customers and crafty friends that have purchased me's class by post. And let's first of all show you what we're going to be making. So this is the finished product. This is a lovely little box. And I've made one similar to this. However, this one has extra mats and layers and what have you. And because of the printed PDF and also this private tutorial for you, I thought, why not run a class by post? So, in your kit, you will have received, sorry, I've got a little jaggy bit on my desk. You will have received a little kit like this. Now, there's various colours, and the whole point of this class by post was to show off the new colours coming, etc., and let you have a feel for the new goodies coming in the catalogue. So your postal kits will have already have been posted, so you should have them by now. Let me see, I'm just going to double check whether or not I can see. I'm trying to make sure that I'm all nice and straight on the screen here for you. So let's see now. Right, so anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my kit, because I have one that's not all packaged up. And this is it here. So your kit already comes with everything cut to size, also scored in all the relevant places. And yeah, it's just a case of building it together. But you might want to do this again in the future. So for the purpose of this video, I will go through it all step by step. And it's also a good chance for me to go through the instructions with you. I hope the instructions are okay. There is a lot of text and sizes. However, I have tried to put the visuals on the back just in case you get a little bit stuck. I know that I work better with images as well. So yeah, so let's do this. Okay, so this is a little lidded box, which is 2.5 by 3 inches. Okay, so the ribbon, it's a ribbon top that you would just pull off. It's hidden under this bit of cardstock here. It's reinforced around these edges, so it's a little bit sturdier. Just glued on the bottom. You can add your own contents. There's matte layers and there's also DSP layers. In your kit, you will find, I'll just pop this off to the side so you can see. You will find a large piece of cardstock. This measures 6.5 by 10.5. And don't worry, I'll go through all the measurements, etc. as we go. There is also a part for the lid. So on the PDF, you will see that I do the box sizes and scoring and cutting first. Then we move on to the lid. And then we move on to the finishing touches and decorations. Okay, so, however, for the purpose of this video, I will do scoring at the same time, mats and layers at the same time. So, card base, the box base, sorry, is 6.5 inches by 10.5. The lid cardstock piece is 4 9/16 by 4 9/16. Okay, so there is 16ths in this. Also in your little pack, you will find a little pack of mats and layers and some decorations. So it does say on here, box base, mats, layers and decorations. That's for the box. And then all the little pieces that you need for the lid. So let's do this. Let's make it together. I thought it would just be good to show you start to finish, like I say, and then you could always recreate it later. So you're going to need your trimmer or your scoreboard. So let me grab my scoreboard. I prefer to use my scoreboard when it comes to 3D projects. However, your trimmer will be sufficient. So we've cut a cardstock piece down to 6.5 by 10.5. Long side to the top, we're now going to score it at 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10. And those are easy measurements because, like I say, the box is 2.5 inches wide. So let's do this. So 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10. And you will see this little almost ½ inch size here. This is going to be the glue flap. Okay, so you turn it once so that the short side's at the top, and we're going to score it at 2.5 and 5.5. So 2.5, this is going to be the box base, the bottom of the box, and then 5.5. Okay, so you'll see here 3 by 2.5 is the size of each side of the box. These pieces here fold in. Okay, so let's make the box base first. So I'm just taking my Simply Scored scoring tool away. I'm going to get my scissors. Okay, so you need to score up all the relevant score lines. However, this smallest piece here and this smallest piece here, we do not need them. So let's cut them off. Now you can cut it diagonally like so. However, to prevent any bulk, I do like to do a little wedge off the edge of there. Okay, like so. Okay, then we're going to cut up each of these lines. Now I'm going to use my bigger scissors for this part. So you're cutting up to that first score line. Okay, and what we want to do, with the exception of one of the panels, is wedge a slight little piece out. Now you don't have to do this because it will build okay, but you might get some bulking, which can be annoying and it can maybe put some people off. So I do like to show you how to try and avoid that. Thank you so much to everybody who's purchased the class by post this month. You really are helping a small business grow, and you're also making me feel good because I like, as you know, I do like to share creativity. Okay, so that's us cut up those. We want to cut these ones now. Now these are all tucking inside, so we do need to wedge all edges of these folds, okay? Just ever so slightly. Like I say, it's to avoid any bulking or bulging or whatever word you would like to use. It just makes it come together a little bit easier. There we go. So although yours is all scored, you will have had to have cut these pieces yourself, okay? So that's that done. What we can do now is we can fold and burnish, and then we can add all of our mats and layers. Okay, so first of all, let's do the glue flap. Flaps, there's more than one. This is the pieces that are going to tuck inside. Okay. Then we do the glue tab at the side. And just fold and burnish all those score lines with your bone folder. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Just bear in mind that when we adhere it together, this square panel will be the last one to be glued together on the bottom of your box. Okay, so this is what we have here. And if I refer to the diagram, you will see we now need to add some tearing tape, okay? So the first thing we want to do is adhere these down. Now I would have used my stamping seal, but I have actually ran out of it. You could use wet glue if you wish, because glue is the only thing that I don't include in these kits, or stamped images in this kit class. So yes, let me just fetch my tear and tape. Now, what I will do is I'll keep this handy. Okay, so you don't need a lot, but you do need it close to the edge. Okay, so I'm just using the bone folder to as a guide to kind of tear that. If you've got a ruler, it's probably better using a ruler and just pull against it. Okay. as always, with any classes, I do appreciate any feedback. Let me know what worked for you or maybe didn't work for you so well, and I will take all that into account in future classes. Okay, so we're going to remove the backing from the tape on all 4 pieces. You can do it one at a time if you like. I'll just do all of this at the minute. And I'll try and keep my desk tidy as I go so that you can have a clear image here of what's going on. Okay, so fold over and press that down with your bone folder. Okay, now if I show you visually, what we're going to do is put glue, tearing tape on here to secure it, and then fold it all in, and that'll be our box. Okay, now these bits are glued to the inside, so we need to fold this little flap over, or you can turn the full thing over, and we need to apply the tearing tape there. Fabulous. Now just do make sure you're taking it right up to the edge though. Okay, now we don't need to remove that just now because we're going to add our mats and layers. Right, let's tidy. So open up your box lid, mats, layers and decoration. Oh, that's the lid, sorry, I do apologise. That's the box lid. Use the right one. Box base, mats, layers and decoration. So open this up, and in here, if you be very careful, because I have included some of our wonderful new ephemera pieces. Now, everyone's kits are slightly different, but you should have 2 or 3 little elements for sticking on the front. And these come from the Fully Flowering ephemera pack. These are very budget friendly, and there's a lot in them. If anybody would like to order these on top, just let me know, and I can always pop them in with my next order. Or you could order online at smithscraftcreations.stampinup.net. There's also 3 gems. These are new catalogue items, so please don't lose those. Those are actually called, I'm still getting to grips all the new names. These are called, let me see, they've just fell out of their packet. These are called Basic Grey and Smoky Slate Pearls. Nice neutral, go with many, many projects. And that is the only new item in terms of embellishments that I have out of the new catalogue, because I am on a mission to use things up that are in my stash. So, pop them to the side, okay? Now, what you're going to have in your pack, okay, so if we just go back to the visuals, we see all the elements here. We're going to pop them on to the box, okay? But I'll just explain the sizes. We have 4 mats of coloured cardstock, and I did choose one of our grey. Okay, so you're going to have 4 pieces. Okay, now I've done the smallest of little increments in terms of borders. So 4 pieces of that. Those measure 2 3/8 by 2 7/8. So it's 1/8 of an inch smaller than the size of the box. The mat layers are designer series paper, and it's up to you which side you use. But obviously I like things to coordinate well, so I'll go with the orange. Now there's 4 pieces of those that measure 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so let's stick all these together. Now what I prefer to do is adhere my DSP onto the card and then adhere it onto the box. Now, if you're making these yourself, if you want the pattern flowing, just bear that in mind when you're cutting up your cardstock. But this one, we get away with just popping them on any old way, and it will still look fabulous. So for this, you need wet glue. And of course, I'm going to use the Tombow multi-purpose adhesive that we stock. Okay, so I'm just going to layer that up. And you can see it's the smallest of layers, but still enough to make that colour pop. So we'll work through the 4 of those. You might want to be brave and use the completely different colour that's on the reverse. It's up to you. It is entirely up to you. You'll be amazed at how things turn out, especially if you use colours you're maybe not the most popular with yourself and what have you. Just be brave. Okay, last one now. Oh, I meant to say this little piece here is for stamping the sentiment. So we've got a little piece of white and a little piece of the grey. Stamp whatever you can on that, or you can use your own white card to make your own sentiment layers. What I actually done with my sample box is I stamped Let's Celebrate, which is one stamp, and then I cut it down into two. So lots of ideas there. Okay, now let's apply these mats to our box. Okay, now once I have these on, I'll give them a wee second, then I will press down and burnish them down nice and well. Don't pop your glue too close to the edge or it will, oh, that one's slightly squint, easy done. If you put them too close to the edge, sometimes the glue will seep out the sides. We don't want that, because that's messy. And I'm already all gluey all over my fingers. Okay, now some of you that have access to this video may have only purchased the class rather than the class by post kit. And again, thank you for your support in doing so. Okay, let's pop that down. Right, I am going to burnish. Let's give it a little flatten. Perfect. And now we're ready to glue our box together. So first things first, once this flap, we can fold this flap over. Okay, once we remove the tape, you simply push down, and because it's the same size on all sides, it's a really good way to pop it together rather than fiddling about. So I can't remember when I discovered that, but that's why I like using square boxes for my projects. Good burnish there. We're getting there, we're getting there. Right, so now identify which one is your square. So we'll fold that back. That's the last one that's going to be adhered down, okay? So all I want to do, very haphazardly, adding glue to those three panels. Okay, on the square one, we're going to go slightly closer to the edge. Okay, I'm going to pop that down, give it a little press. Okay, now you might want to pop something inside to give it a good old burnish. If you have nothing to hand, use your Tombow glue, easy peasy. Okay, so there is our box. So now it's time to move on to the lid. And here is the lid. So like I say, this is 2.5 by 2.5, so the measurements are that there's a 1/16 of an inch bigger in size the lid is to the box, so that it fits nicely on the top. So this piece of cardstock measures 4 9/16 by 4 9/16, and we need to score it at 4 inches on all 4 sides. So it's really easy. The matte layers are a little bit more footery with this one, but I will explain it as we go. So bring in your Simply Scored board, and we are going to score 1 inch. Use the smaller of the balls, okay? Use the smaller. And just run that off over all 4 sides. If you are replicating this and simply using designer series paper, go a little gentler, a little more gentle, because our cardstock is obviously thicker than our DSP, aka patterned paper. So now we need to cut up the glue tabs. So we're going to cut up like so. I just turn it around like a pinwheel. Okay, so we're just cutting 4 squares. Okay, we're going to take a little wedge out where it comes to the inside there. And again, it's just to avoid any bulking, and it gives a flusher finish. That was almost a tongue tangler there. Okay, so we're going to fold and burnish. All the little flaps and all the score lines. And these are ideal little boxes. You can make the ribbon bigger on the top, hang them on your Christmas tree, do them as table favours, sell them at craft fairs. Like I say, they are a good size. You would get a bath bomb in there, quite a few chocolates, so tidy it up to yourself. Okay, so we've done the folding and scoring. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to apply the mats in layers. So we do the scoring, the cutting, then we do the mats in layers, then we do the ribbon, then we hide the ribbon on the inside of the lid, and then we do the decoration. So let me explain to you what all these little bits are. So you will need a craft knife or something similar. So open up your little pack that's the box lid, mats, layers and ribbon. Okay, and we're going to put the ribbon up beside these decorative pieces. Okay, so in this we have 2 mats of the grey card that measure the same size. Okay, so these measure 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. Pop one to the side because that is the last piece to hide the ribbon. Okay, we have the mat layer of DSP, which is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. This is going to go on the top. Okay, so you can see here the mats and layers for the sides and the lid. So I was just explaining the lid there. You need card times 2, that's 1, 2, and a DSP mat times 1, which is that. The sides, we need, obviously there's 4 sides. The mat layers are 2 3/8 by 7/8. The DSP layers are 2 1/4 by 3/4. Okay, so 4 each of those. So let's get the mat layers on top of the DSP mats, on top of the mats, if that makes sense. Okay, and then this is going to go directly on the top. Now, I've tried and tried this box lots of times, so I am very confident it's going to fit absolutely perfect over the top of my box. Okay, so we need 4 layers for the side now, so I'll just pop that over there. So like I said, these are 4 pieces, 4 mat ones, shall we say, and then mat 2 is a DSP. So just to reiterate, these measure 2 3/8 by 7/8. These measure 2 1/4 by 3/4. Again, just the smallest of difference in size, just to show off the contrast between the 2 colours. Now these might be a little bit more fiddly to put together. Now if you were recreating this yourself, you're not even going to need a full sheet of 12 by 12 for all these little bits. I'm hoping to incorporate a more useful guide in terms of how to cut the cardstock or the DSP to get full maximum use out of it when doing the projects that I'm doing on the class by post. Again, all these things take extra time, so it just all depends. Fabulous. Now this one's slightly off centre, but you just get enough wiggle room time, so make sure it's all centre. Okay, so that's the 4, so we'll start with the first one that we glued first, and we're going to just layer them up on the lid. I'm not rushing this tutorial for you guys because if you're trying this for the first time, you want a nice steady tutorial, step by step, especially as it's a class by post, and then you could always reference that. Okay. Fabulous. Okay, so we're just layering it up. like so. Now, give it a little second, get your little craft knife. Be very careful. Be very, very, very careful. Now, you can use your silicone mat for this, or you can use an old piece of acetate even. I've seen myself using acetate as a little protector for my desk, so let me just grab a piece, because I did have one handy here. And it's just really to protect the surface. So a little scrap piece of window sheet. Now, what we need to do is cut a slit in here. So like I say, be careful. Now, you need it wide enough that this will fit through it, okay? We can fold and force it through if necessary, but don't do it wider than the actual size. There, I think that's a plenty. Than the actual size of the ribbon, the width. Now, again, just be very careful. If you've got someone that can help you do this, please do get them to give you a hand. Okay, so that is the little slit in there. Perfect. Okay, all we need to be able to do is feed through, put this away safely, folks. We need to be able to feed through that ribbon. Okay, so I am going to just sit that there. Now, this is a good thick ribbon. I'm just going to force it through with the edge of my scissors, like so. Oh, maybe need another little bit of help. Just watch what you're doing. Okay, we're just going to grab that. Whoops. Don't pull it all the way through. Don't pull it all the way through. Okay. No, 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 no. We want to straighten up that ribbon as much as we can. So that is a little pulley lid section, which I think is absolutely adorable. This is a retired ribbon. Like I say, I need to get my ribbon stash up with new goodies. Right, okay, back to the tearing tape. We want to... Oops, I've popped that on the wrong side. I do beg your pardon. Just remove that. Ignore that little boo-boo. So where the ribbon is going to fold back on itself, we want to add some ribbon, add some tearing tape, just to catch that excess ribbon on both sides of the slit. This is very sticky. Okay, and it does show you that in the image here. There's a clearer image there of how it looks, okay? So give it a good burnish with your bone folder or your hands. Okay, and then we're going to peel that off piece by piece. Come on. Okay, so we're going to fold down one half like so, then we'll do the second half. So just use your picky tool, your pokey tool, to remove that backing, or if you've got nice thin nails. Okay, so finally we can use this last piece. All we are going to do is add lots of wet glue, and we're going to pop that down over that ribbon. Okay, now you do need to kind of put pressure on it for a few moments. I would normally use the stamping seal. However, I've actually ran out. So you've got to make do with what you have. But the stamping seal is definitely the best thing for this because it gives instant closure, instant adhesive. Okay, we're on to the last bit of the assembly. So we need to fold in each of the glue tabs. Okay, we're going to do 3. We're going to make sure the lid fits. I know mine will. However, if you're just doing this from scratch, not using the kit supplies that I sent you, you might want to do this little process. And it just makes sure that your lid is definitely going to fit over that box. This is where the 1/16 of an inch comes in extremely handy. Okay. There we go. Now you could, if you wish, decorate the inside as well. Feel free to use your own supplies. Okay, so this piece isn't glued yet, but I am just going to pop it on. And you can see quite clearly that is going to fit perfect. So now I'm happy. I can add glue to that last glue tab. Now the key is don't fold it too much in. Marry up the edges, and the sides should not go over the glue flap neither, because that can change the size of the lid somewhat. Okay, pop that on top, and you will see that is nice and snug, but it's not crushing any of the box. So that's handy. Okay, right, now let us decorate it. So you will need some dimensionals. So I'm going to use these large dimensionals. Okay, and we're going to pop this gorgeous little floral element here. Okay. I'm just going to pop 3 in the middle. You could burnish these to give it more 3D or fold them in, whatever you like. It's just suggestions today from me. Okay, remove the backings, move your dimensionals, secure in place, and that does look quite nice with a little bit of penetration with the hands there. Okay, I think I'll put my sentiment up here. I'm going to add this little daisy. Now I will use a mini dimensional for this. Depending where you pop your flowers or your ephemera that I've sent you, or any toppers that you're using when you're doing it yourself, all depends. You could split sentiments, you can put them across, your images, etc. So yeah, there we go. Let's pop these away now. Now, I am not going to start today. I am actually going to use one of, now I would have sent these in the kit, but I've only just recently received these. I'm going to add one of the Saying Something ephemera sentiments. These are just amazing, and I can see straight away that I want to use one that's either yellow or orange themed. And I think I'm going to use Shine On, because that looks like crushed curry, and I'm sure there's crushed curry in this little flower. So you just pop them out. These are great. These are great. There's a few options for these in the new catalogues. Okay, pop that to the side. And I bet this is going to fit on here just about perfectly. Yes, it is. Now, if you get any slight pieces of card, you can just file it down with a nail file, or just kind of use your fingers to flatten that out. We're going to stick this on here. Obviously, if you don't have these, you are going to be stamping on this little piece, or a bigger piece if you're choosing a bigger sentiment. And then you're going to layer the full thing on. So I'm just going to cut this down so it's not too big. Look at that. Do you know what? I'm actually going to put it on the front there. No, I'll put it on the lid. I'm not putting it on with dimensionals though. I'll just put it nice and flush in the middle of that panel on the lid. Fantastic. So all we need to do now is add those 3 little petals that I popped in the kit. Okay. And where you put them is entirely up to you. So I'm going to pop one there. Hope this one stuck to my finger because my fingers are all gluey. One there, and then the final one, I think I will put, I'm just going to pop this one here. Move it over slightly. There we go. And here is your finished project. I hope you've liked this month's class by post. Create as many of these as you need. There'll always be access to this video, and you have the PDF to hand. Thank you again to everyone that has supported me. You don't know how important each and one of you are to me in supporting my small business. Okay, everyone, please do let me know what you think by return of email at smithscraftedcreations@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your feedback. And once again, thank you and happy crafting. I hope you're ready to make lots of these for little gifts for your friends and family. See you later.